Hey guys, Jenna here, and it's time for another video tour. And this week it's a special video tour because visiting me is Dylan Magaster. He just did a video tour of my tiny house on his YouTube channel. But today we're going to go through his van.
Previous to living in a van, I did 3 months in South America, then 3 months in the US backpacking. And while I was in South America, I met this guy named Alex, and he had a big 177 wheelbase Sprinter. We started talking and we went and we climbed this volcano and we camped out for a while. Whenever I came back to the States, I wanted to continue traveling but didn't know how I was going to do it, and so the idea of living in a van seemed like the most reasonable and feasible option. So this is Gladys. She's a 1994 Chevy G20 that I converted into my mobile home, and I've driven it literally from coast to coast. I had it for 2 months before I renovated it and lived in and out of it with nothing in it. That really made me understand what I need in this space. I have like a decent background in construction. I did it for a while with my dad, did home remodeling with him, and so like I have a basic understanding of construction. I took it out to where it was just a bare empty metal box and then built it up. I've got R13 insulation for the walls, and then this is cedar, which is nice. The subreddit Van Dwellers is like super helpful if you're trying to get into van dwelling. There's so much information on there. I have these folded up towels to kneel on because that's hard and it hurts. Do a lot of squatting, a lot of kneeling, and occasionally I'll stand up. I don't do that much because I can't.
Yeah.
A van like this is definitely suited for shorter people, but if you're into the van life, you'll make it work. That's just kind of like what the whole lifestyle is about, is just making it work. So I've got one here, and then I've got one up here, so I can hook that anywhere and just watch some TVs.
You got the full setup, dude.
I got the hookup. I've got a gallon of propane back here, which the hose runs up to here to my stove. I've got a 3-burner stove. I only ever use 1 burner at a time though. This is the first cabinet I've ever built, and so it's not that nice. This is the second one. It looks a lot better. Just foodstuffs up here. I can carry 7.5 gallons of water. This is 2.5 gallons, and then back here I've got a 5-gallon jug. So I can go just about a week or a week, depending on how conservative I am, completely off grid, because I can get about a week's worth of food in my fridge, and all my other foodstuffs is in this box. I'm considering switching to like a DC compressor fridge and putting that right in between those 2 chairs, and then changing this section into another cabinet, and then that would allow me to get rid of this box and put all my food in there and have the fridge there. But I haven't done that yet. This curtain goes across here for whenever I'm stealth camping, and these are fantastic. Then I've got the bed, which I want to redo. These cushions wasn't the best design, but it works, it's comfortable. And then this sets up into a couch like that for whenever I have guests over. So living in a van, there's some things you have to figure out. One of them is the bathroom. It's really easy for guys. This is a pee bottle. That's great. Restrooms are everywhere. Like almost every single store has a restroom, gas stations. Like if you're afraid of public restrooms, you'll have issues, but if you don't mind public restrooms, they're everywhere. And then showering, that's different. A lot of people have gym memberships. They do it that way. I don't have a gym membership, so I just like bum off of friends whenever I can. It's just like, hey, you have a shower, can I use it? And they're like, yeah, for sure. My job is all online. I do, like everything I do is digital. And so for internet, I do a lot of coffee shops. I work a lot in coffee shops. And then I also have an unlimited data plan with T-Mobile that I use, and I do a lot of tethering. It's nice to be able to be completely mobile, go off grid, go into the woods, and still be able to work and make money. This is like the solar system area. My batteries are a little bit low because I've been in Oregon and it's been raining for the past couple days. But down in here are my 2 batteries. I'm not a professional electrician, but it works. Got the 2 solar panels. Each of them are 100 watt Urine solar panels. 200 watts of solar comes into my charge controller, and then that goes into the battery. And then over here, I've got an inverter for the fridge, because that's actually a freezer. And the reason I did that is because I found this on Reddit. If you do a freezer, it has more insulation, and then you run it to here. And then right here is a temperature probe. So that goes right in there, and that's the probe. And that has a relay which cycles on and off this inverter, which keeps that at the temperature for a refrigerator. That's like a $250 setup, opposed to a DC compressor fridge is like $600. The vast majority of us in the van life community, we have like a pretty low bar for comfort, and our whole goal is to like be out in nature and be able to travel and move and do the things we want to do, whether that's like adventure sports like climbing, kayaking, whatever. That's like the main goal of life for most of us, and so the van is just a way to facilitate that. I've got snowboarding stuff along with mountaineering stuff in this section. This is like my climbing section. I've got my crash pad, the little bit of climbing gear that I have, along with my larger backpack, camera equipment, skateboard, laundry stuff, just all the stuff you would have in a garage. A common question I get is like, how much did this all cost? And I paid $2,000 for the van itself with 65,000 miles. It was kind of a steal. And then the whole inside setup cost me about $3,500. So, you know, about $5,500 for my house. And then with maintenance and whatnot on the van, through the past year, I've probably spent $1,000 or $1,500 from oil changes to I've had to do some work with the axles and whatnot. So altogether, we're still talking less than $10,000. The most I've ever spent on gas in a month is like $500, which is a lot, but that's still less than most people pay in rent. I don't have to worry about electricity or water or, you know, all of the other things people worry about. I mean, I would honestly rather live in a house, but I can't live the life that I'm living now in a house. It's definitely a super cheap lifestyle, and it just like very much meshes with who I am as a person. For the rest of my life, I'll always have a van. I'll live in a house at some point, but I'll always have some sort of weekender.
If you guys like this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And Dylan, what is your YouTube channel?
My channel is just my name.
Because he just did a video of my tiny house. So I'll put a link to that in the description. And until next time, see you guys later.